thanks so much for being with us today and sharing your journey. So, you know, you grew up with a loving family as well, but along the way your parents went for divorce, and how did that affect you and how did things started?
Yeah, it's funny. I probably should have seen it coming. You know, my parents were always very affectionate people. They were great parents, but there was always a little bit of tension, you know, in the relationship. But I do remember being really young and thinking, wow, I'm so lucky that my parents are together. So many friends, their parents are getting divorced, and I get to see both of my parents every day. And I thought I was so lucky. I was so like happy and thankful for that. And then I can remember hearing a big argument. And one time I was practicing my violin in another room, and I could hear this big argument. And it sort of all ended, the height of the argument ended at, you know, something along the lines of, well, maybe we shouldn't be together anymore, or something. I can't remember the exact wordings, but I remember it was just this statement of splitting up. And that was the point where it hit me, and I just had like a breakdown moment, you know, at home. But my sister reacted really badly, you know, was very emotional. My brother didn't react at all. You know, he was just like, oh, can I go back and play with my toys now? And my parents were most worried about him and how it would affect him, basically. But I think after the split, my brother and I went to live with my mum, and my sister wanted to live with my dad. And you know, there was family friction for a while. My mum ended up with a partner, and there was a lot of friction between him and my dad, which was that was probably the hardest part initially, was just that friction between them. And you know, when Dad would come to drop us off, and if Jack was around, there would be this almost a confrontation, and that was quite scary for a little while. And I think they realised that, and they must have talked it through, or they must have worked something out, because that really shifted and changed, and things became a lot easier from that point. I think as a kid, you're always looking to your parents and wondering, you know, are they okay? What's going on? And you take your sense of security in the world from them. You know, if there's issues going on with them, if they're feeling insecure, if they're feeling upset, if they're feeling guilty or worried, then you're actually going to end up taking that on for them. You don't mean to, but you can't help it, because it's your mum, it's your dad.
Exactly.
So,
they're your world.
Yeah, exactly. They are your world. So once that shifted, things became a lot better for us, I think, as kids. And my mum and my sister had a bit of a tension for a while. Their relationship was a little bit strained, and that really shifted a lot over the years. I think particularly when after we became adults, you know, and my dad has moved around a bit since then, and my mum ended up having my sister move in with her for a while, and you know, that was hard, because when you're when you're an adult and you move away, and then you come back to home and you've got to live under your parents' roof again. It's a bit weird, but you know, they really had to sort of just, I guess, get over a few things from the past and get to know each other again, and so they're really close again now, which is great.
So most kids would get affected by it, and for the rest of their life, most of them, they as well, you know, get married, get divorced, become a routine or habit. But how did it affect you, and did you make a decision for your life?
Yeah, I guess sometimes there can be like a pattern that can emerge, but I guess I had to go through, like, I guess you'd say, like a healing process. You know, just, it sounds funny, but just forgiving my parents. Not that they did anything wrong to me, but you know, you can hold on to all these worries and stresses and doubts, and so just letting go of that, and just allowing them to be people, you know, and just saying, you know, I forgive you for all the emotions that I went through, and letting go of that was a big part of it.
Part of the healing.
Yeah, part of the healing. and being able to love them fully as well, and not have that, those emotions still attached to the relationship that you have with them. So I recognize that in a marriage and in a relationship, there's a choice. It comes down to a choice. There's always that initial falling in love, the emotions, the excitement, and
perfect love.
Yeah, and I felt all that with Andrew, with my husband. After we sort of made that connection, that's when there became a choice. Before we got married, when we were at university, basically, we had this moment, this moment in our relationship where everything could have fallen apart, and we almost did break up, and he had difficulties with the relationship, and then I had difficulties with the relationship, and he almost found another girl that he was going to go away with. We had all this moment where it almost just completely fell apart. And basically, a lot of people were telling us, a few people were telling us, you know what, you guys just don't know yourselves without each other. You need to break up for a while, go experience the world, enjoy yourselves, and then, if it's still meant to be, then you'll get back together. That was a lot of the advice that we got, and I'm so glad we didn't listen to it. I'm so glad, because that's the way that the world that we live in views relationships. It's like, oh well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and just let it go. But if you're not willing to fight for something, if you're not willing to put in, the effort for someone who you say you love, it's not going to last. It just won't. Look at the statistics. They say that in marriage. So we stuck it out. There were times when we didn't want to be around each other. There were times when it was really hard to keep going. But we just kept, we held on to each other, and there was like a trust that built in that.
So what would you say to someone to encourage her who was going through
marriage?
Yeah.
And I would just say, don't look back. Don't look back. I got caught at one stage in a cycle of, it was better when we first met. Oh, if only he was like this. If only he did what we did when we first married. If only he took me out, like when we first got married. All of these when we first met. If you just start thinking about how much you love them and how much they're trying to do good things for you, and then just think about, well, what can I do to make him feel really special? What can I do to make him, recognize how special he is to me? I've got 2 gorgeous bubs, and they're amazing, and being able to see aspects of their dad in them, that makes me go, I married the right guy. I married the right guy.
Oh, well, thanks so much. And I could listen to you all day, and I will want a cup of tea.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Sophie.
No worries.
I love you.
Love you.